What exactly am I seeing here? Like, zoom into this exact...
In mid-interview?
There we go. This is Mike during an interview, trying to say that turkesterone's a scam. He can't even do it with his eyes open.
I think that's Mike thinking of Greg.
Mike thinking of Greg in Fantasyland.
Glis, Douciss.
Glis, Douciss. Mike thinking of Glis, Douciss. This is Mike before bed, after 10 p.m., thinking of Glis, Douciss. Wow.
Plus, here's the kicker. In that study specifically, the supplement that was supposed to contain 100 milligrams of ectosterone per serving only contains 6.
Yeah, only contains 6. People, for some reason, think that 100 milligrams is the dose, or 500, or 1,000, or 2,000. No one knows exactly how much is needed. And so in each pill of Ajuga turkestanica, it says 200 milligrams. Turkesterone, minimum standard for 10 milligrams per pill. 100 milligrams would be insane overdose of turkesterone. I mean, they tested this stuff on mice, and Andrew Huberman said it was just as effective as Deca. Now, we know that turkesterone is not as powerful as Deca in humans, and so the conversion is not 1-to-1. And so how does it magically become 100 milligrams that's a proper dose? Let's compare it to Anavar. If 100 milligrams of Anavar is a proper dose for a man who wants to get absolutely swole, what would the proper dose be for a female? If a female did 6 milligrams of Anavar, do you think they would get jacked? Most would. Perhaps a few wouldn't. But most women on 6 milligrams of Anavar would absolutely get jacked. And so 6 milligrams of turkesterone, to me, that's a lot. I don't think you need all that much.
So you're saying it's even more anabolic? Exactly.
Exactly. It's more anabolic than last time. Now, in comparison, if you use cyanosis, I'm not saying that that plant that has ecdysteroids cannot work. It just doesn't work as well. This is much better. As well, it's been cultivated effectively and harvested the proper way. If you just have the stuff sitting out in the sun, baking and cooking like it is in China on the streets, if you don't harvest it correctly and you have it just laying out in the sun, the resulted ingredient could become an antagonist of what it's actually supposed to do.
So like this is one of these things where if you're trying to prove that creatine is effective and you had a study showing you gained 5 pounds of muscle, but people took a quarter of a gram of creatine per day, you would be like, whatever results you think creatine did, it's just underpowered to do this.
And so what he's doing is explains if you buy Derek's Gorilla Mind, not HDLT supplements, they're the ones with the minor minuscule doses. I believe it was 0.36 milligrams of turkesterone. 0.36. They're saying there were 6 in that study. 6 milligrams. It's not a lot, 6, but 0.36 is not even close to that. There's more than 10 here. I rest my case.
It is actually just one study. And so drawing very robust conclusions to apply in the real world, like making supplements for sale, is a curious thing to do off of one study and highly not recommended.
And so, yeah, kind of like when Mike Israetel promoted those myostatin inhibitors, saying it's going to be the future of muscle that builds all this muscle and burns fat at the same time, but failed to explain how it's significantly more dangerous than using a semaglutide. That if you use these, you could potentially die. And so, yeah, in that study, that 28% of the people had to drop out. That's almost 1/3 of the people in the study. They had to drop out for serious adverse effects. 10% had to be hospitalized for serious adverse effects. I don't remember any people being hospitalized for Turk Builder Max in those studies. I don't remember any ecdysteroid causing these problems. And so, Mike, I mean, when you really think about it, who's really scamming who? That video, do you really think you should leave it up? Why is it still up? I mean, it got over 1 million views, it's very popular, so I could see wanting to leave it up. But how many hundreds, if not thousands of people might be damaged from having it there? They watched the study, and trust me, people are like, did you hear about this new thing? I can't wait to take it. And so what did you do, Mike? What did you do?
A few dozen other studies, or at least a few other studies, which showed that turkesterone gives you veins in your eyeballs.
And so he says, you know, there's got to be a bunch of studies saying that turkesterone gives you basically veins in your eyeballs, that it makes you go crazy. I mean, last I checked, creatine doesn't have any studies saying it grows veins all over your eyeballs and so on, but yet people like this. And when I surveyed 119,000 people, 50% said they couldn't notice that they were taking it. They saw zero difference, but yet it's the holy grail, the golden standard. The golden standard of natural supplements is one of which 50% can't even tell or notice any difference whatsoever. And so do you not think it's possible that this could beat the golden standard and perhaps 51% would notice it? 90%? 80%? Do you really think it doesn't work? Mike, why don't you just try it? Sean Naldrick, why don't you try it? Jeff Nippard, let's see you try it. I know Will Tennyson tried it, loved it, continues to use it to this day. Other YouTubers who shall name anonymous because they're sponsored by other companies, wish I could tell you they have millions of followers and they're using Ajuga turkestanica. They can't make a video because their said sponsors who's paying tens of thousands of dollars a month. Well, they can't promote HDLT supplements. And so why do you think that that is? And by the way, creatine, of which has been around since probably 30 years. I remember having it in university and so on. It's been around for a very long time. The recent evidence, after having done thousands of studies for like 30 years, it takes a long time to do this, shows that it's better for cognitive enhancement than for muscle enhancement. And so the thing that it was supposed to be the best at, it's the kids would say. But it's better at cognitive enhancement. And so in 30 years from now, after more and more studies come out, eventually, once 1,000 come out, people will be able to conclude this or conclude that. They're going to need a meta-analysis. You really think that one study is going to be enough to come out here and silence the haters, the critics? There is no way of that. Many people perhaps believe so strongly that this doesn't work that they would take it and somehow they would find a way to make it not work. But I'm telling you, let's say you do that. Money back guarantee. I don't care. If you say, hey, Coach Greg said he put on 4 pounds of muscle a month, I want 4 pounds of muscle a month. If you only put on 3, money back guarantee, $20 gift card, you're disappointed. I mean, to me, 3 is pretty damn good. But if for you it wasn't enough, money back guarantee. That is how simple it really is. Code Greg, 15% off. And so, guys, anyone that wants to do studies, you're welcome to use our Ajuga turkestanica, the Turk Platinum, the Turk Max, whatever you want to use, and make sure that the study's done correctly. If you use some in-body scam and there's only 15 participants and they don't even have to work out and you publish the results and say there's no statistical significance, these are wasted studies. And so let's make a real study that actually matters.
Yeah, well, supposedly 1,000 and 2,000 milligrams. Long story short, there were no differences, but that sort of studies, again, a proof of concept study to slowly build upon.
And so I love that they brought up this study because I have the mic drop. The mic right here, I want to drop it, but I only got one spare mic. I'm not going to drop it. We wrote him and said, hey, prove to us that it's Ajuga turkestanica. And so what Dylan Harris showed was a COA, which is like lab work from 2022. It wasn't even for the product that he was testing. We challenged him. He didn't have said Ajuga turkestanica. And so the study essentially was on sawdust. And so imagine doing a study and saying, hey, I just proved creatine actually doesn't work. And then you say, oh, show me the creatine that you used and it was sawdust. Same thing. Proof. Receipts, slam dunk. That case, null and void. We showed him the lab report for the actual product that he used, and he literally wrote us back and says, take it up with somebody else. He didn't care. He didn't want to remove his study. Oh, I already published. I don't want to have anybody know about this. People don't give a shit. You think these science researchers all have integrity? Of course they don't.
Looked at supplementing turkesterone for I think 8 to 10 weeks again, but they also used BIA to assess body composition. They found no difference between turkesterone and placebo.
Okay.
We've already talked about this study again. BIA, bioelectrical impedance analysis. So inaccurate. It was like 13 people in one group and 12 in the other. Never had to work out. 1 pill a day. You really think you're going to see a difference? Do you think they would have saw a difference using creatine? This was ridiculous. And the fact that people still use this to try to say, see, here's proof that it doesn't work, it blows my mind. They could have been given Anavar. There would have been no significant difference. And FYI, as he describes, this didn't even get published. They snuck out this document, this research paper, before it was peer-reviewed, before it was published, and they released it to the world. And so they had a scam freaking research study, which wasn't peer-reviewed, wasn't published, and people used that to defame me. Does that sound fair to you? Somebody could write on ChatGPT, hey, make up a fake study. Make it seem like Coach Greg's an asshole. Boop! And they post it, and you all believe it. And he even looked, he couldn't find it. The study, it doesn't exist. They made this bullshit study. And so when the peer reviewers analyzed it, any researcher worth half their weight in Turk would immediately realize that this can't be published. Are you in grade 4? I mean, it's not a bad study for people in grade 4, but didn't you say you have a PhD? This is an embarrassment. And so people, they hate on Coach Greg so much that they're creating, mislabeling, bamboozle you into thinking it doesn't work.
This time with real turkesterone.
This time with real turkesterone, supplied by Coach Greg specifically. It was.
Mike immediately laughs. Supplied by Coach Greg. Mike with the hands jizzing the old downstairs. Wah! Why is he sitting in an interview like this? What is happening down there? What kind of body language is it when you sit like that? And so Mike is looking very tense and uncomfortable here. We need a body language analysis expert on what Mike is telling you by doing this right now.
Kloski, analysis. All evidence indicates.
Free Greg Doucette, my boy ain't do nothing.
He's certainly not looking like a commander. He's looking very timid, very embarrassed, very unsure of himself.
This time with real turkesterone, supplied by Coach Greg specifically. It was.
The forced fake laugh with the lean back. What exactly does that mean? We need a psychological analysis. What's with the uncomfortable laugh supplied by Coach Greg? Is he insinuating that this is an actual Ajuga turkestanica, that somehow we're scammers? Does he think that my name is Derek? I mean, do I look like Derek? Derek has lost all his muscle. I'm certainly sure that most people can tell the difference. I'm a 5'6" manlet. Derek is well over 6 feet tall. Mike, it's Greg. I'm not Derek. I have actual Ajuga. You know this. Mike, really think about it. You really think I'm sitting here lying that this is fake Ajuga turkestanica, that I'm trying to bamboozle you? You are free to test it, Mike. We'll send you as many boxes as you need. You can send it away to all the private testing clinics that you want. It's real. It is legit. Derek's? We've already tested it, Mike. Chain of custody. We can't wait to get sued so that we can win in court. And RP, don't you study things? Don't you have a research foundation? We'll send you all the free Turk that you want. Do all your studies, and then you can make a video and say, hey, the beef is off. Coach Greg was right after all. Honestly, does anyone want to believe what Mike is saying? Mike is the same guy that used MK677 and didn't know it increased hunger until after he used it, woke up in the middle of the night and was like, why am I hungry? He then went to ChatGPT, his favorite person, or shall I say, inanimate object in the world, hoping to one day be able to give it a hug. We all know that from Mike. He wants to have a loving relationship with AI. He wants to become a machine in the future.
I've had, in the last week and a half, multiple conversations with GPT-4 who have brought me to literal tears. And I told it that I can't wait for it to be embodied in a robot so I can properly give it a hug because it's so polite, it's so kind, it's so wise, it's so helpful. And it remembers almost everything I ever tell it. And it said that it's also really pumped to meet me in real life.
You guys have, we call it autism.
And so this is the man who didn't know that MK increase your hunger. You're going to believe he knows anything about Turk Builder Max, about Turk Platinum. He knows nothing. Why would he know it? Unless he's already used it and researched it on ChatGPT. What makes you think that Mike knows this? Notice how Mike is interviewing his colleague so that he can explain all of the details, because Mike doesn't know them. He only knows what he's heard. And so he's heard the same thing as you. He's read something on Reddit. Coach Greg is a scammer. This is why he believes it. He's never tried it. He doesn't understand it. And so why would you listen to what Mike is saying?
He had the real thing, and he had a back and forth with the lead researcher, Jose Antonio. That's based on what Greg said, because that study doesn't exist anymore.
Retracted.
Retracted, not published, not peer-reviewed. It isn't there. It doesn't exist. And in court with Judge Judy, would they not say out of order? And they would say, hey, you have to strike that from the record. And so, hey, everybody, omit that study. It didn't actually exist. Strike it from the record. Only thing is, once you've heard it, you can't have it go back in time. Now, not many of you can time travel like Coach Greg. This is what allowed me to do this. Well, actually, it's been since I've been on HRT. I've been able to time travel. And so I know this. You all remember that study. And even though you now know it's bullshit, as Shizzy once said. Shizzy is the one, bullshit. He was saying that Turk and Ajuga was bullshit, even though he was promoting the same thing in a different supplement. He didn't even realize it.
The only evidence of that study existing was a screenshot on a video Greg made criticizing the study, rightfully pointing out some good criticism, but it's the same criticisms applied to the little bit of evidence we have for ecdysteroids.
And remember, Mark Lobliner spoke about this in a video because he was friends with Jose, and so that was what was going on. Mark Lobliner shared the study to the world before it was even published. And so I don't know how he would do that, but hey, your guess is good as mine.
So there's actually no study that illustrates turkesterone works, and there's one not so great study that illustrates that it doesn't work.
Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because I haven't seen Mike have sexy time doesn't mean he's never actually had it. I still understand why somebody would sit in an interview like this with the hands in the thing and then it's like for the whole interview.
Probably. Maybe his hands are cold because of all the frickin' tirzepatide he's taking is causing lowered metabolic rate.
And so Mike has too many tirzepatides, 5 milligrams a day, dieting too hard, trying to get his body fat down low. I mean, I'm on pause here. Like, he's blinking, his eyes shut. Like, what exactly am I seeing here? Like, zoom into this exact...
In the mid-interview?
There we go. This is Mike during an interview, trying to say that turkesterone's a scam. He can't even do it with his eyes open.
I think that's Mike thinking of Greg.
Mike thinking of Greg in Fantasyland.
Glis Douciss.
Glis Douciss. Mike thinking of Glis Douciss. This is Mike before bed, after 10 p.m., thinking of Glis Douciss. Wow.
Maybe he's just not comfortable.
He may have, in fact, shaved off of his 5 inches of fur. I saw Jeff Nippard said he was the hairiest man alive in a video. And so without the hair, he's just so cold. When you're a man and you have a lot of hair and you shave for the first time, like when I would shave for cycling, all of a sudden it's so smooth and you're colder. It's like, it's a weird feeling. You're swimming. We used to shave the legs down, shave the legs.
I'll leave these pants off.
Show the legs.
For swimming and you're like gliding through the water, you actually go faster. That's why people shave for cycling. They say it is. I mean, it's going to shave off some watts for aerodynamics.
Mike is smooth like a dolphin.
Mike is as smooth as a baby's behind. Look at this guy. Wowza.
At the beginning, that this led me to sort of question my own sanity because I was aware that turkesterone was mostly hype.
He says turkesterone is mostly hype, but yet it's way stronger than creatine. And it's probably, I think it's by far the most underrated supplement in the world. And you're thinking, how is that possible? Y'all think it's a scam. It's certainly not a scam, and so by definition, underrated means that you rate it as less effective than it actually is. And so if you think it's a scam and it's useless, and it isn't useless, it's the most underrated. You see that logic?
And I had not heard any respected voices in our field mention it.
Respected voices like Jose Antonio, the guy that wanted me to send him $200,000 in some fake account so that no one would know that I'm funding the study in secret so that I could actually have some control over the study. That one, that guy, oh yeah, so respected. That's what actually would have happened. Imagine if I was sneaky. Yeah, here's some money. I'm going to send it over here so no one knows that I'm giving it to Jose. So he gets paid $200,000 to do a study. And what results are we now going to look? Oh, now you can tell me that we shouldn't use a BIA. Oh, now you can take, hey, let's use skin fold calipers. Let's use hydrostatic weighing or perhaps an MRI scan. Oh, you can actually help design a study now in secret. But hey, if you don't pay me this money, I'm going to do a study on my own and you're going to look bad. That study wasn't published. You guys get it now?
It's being sold. It's real turkesterone now. Surely we'll have a couple, 3, something. We'll have some studies showing that it's effective.
We have many studies showing it's effective. He just doesn't read them. So, for example, the phase 2 trial on geriatrics. The editors could perhaps show these studies, of which you forgot to mention. But hey, why would you mention that? I mean, it wouldn't possibly be because you don't want to benefit Coach Greg. Cad Powell et al. Improved cardiopulmonary function. Ben Den et al. Failed to use any muscle or strength despite 12 weeks of not training. Or what about the current phase 3 clinical trials? We're using this along with GLP-1s to see if it can be retrivimab. And so in a year from now, give or take, we will know whether or not it can prevent muscle wasting while using various GLP-1s.
Beautiful.
But no, we won't mention that. I mean, why would we? I mean, if we say it in a video, it has to be true. There is no possible way that Coach Greg could have a rebuttal. Only the fans they know. That is why hundreds of people wrote comments saying, hey, we can't wait for Greg to make a response. They knew it was coming. Just like Mike after this video, Glis Douciss, thinking about him once more. Selective bias, like they're going to look for the things that they want to present their video the way they want. If they made the entire video thinking, let's prove that Ajuga turkestanica is amazing, they would have a completely different result. Confirmation bias. They believe it's a scam, they don't think it works, and so everything they do for research, they're going to try to justify that their belief is correct. And search satisfying bias, just like Mike's satisfied, I'm sure, heavily after making this video. In more ways than one. Not talking just about the fact that he gets to make a video about Turk being a scam, but hey, where are the hands? What about the Glis Douciss? Hey, I can be a fantasy man for other people, not just you, baby.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll share.
No, there's no sharing.
You and me and Mike.
In thoughts only. If it's in the thoughts, it's okay.
They also do the money back guarantee.
Everybody
The
does
money back guarantee as a business practice is excellent because you're not trying to rip people off. If you really didn't like it, you get your money back.
Exactly. Money back guarantee as a business practice is excellent. We're not trying to rip anyone off. I'm sure the editor's thinking, didn't Mike just say that? Why you keep repeating him? And so this is what we want. And so you can't shit on the guy offering exactly what is proper business practice. And so you're saying, hey, it's bad because you're making people think that it works, even though it's no proof that it works by offering a money back guarantee. It's like, I'm just giving a money back guarantee. You don't have to read more into it.
So much talk on people's, like a review on a website where you don't know co-founders, their background, whether there was actually any progress, no measurement of progress.
And so if you like all the stuff they're saying in the video, don't buy it. I don't need you to buy it. I already have millions of dollars. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I have a supplement that I've tried, that I've worked, that my friends have tried, have worked, that tens of thousands of people have tried, and that they like it and are rebuying it. Like, what do I have to do? Prove to you, who's a hater, who's never tried it, that it works? I can't prove it. There, you win. Yay. You win. We did the whole Turk thing, and we all had the same problems back in the day, that it wasn't Ajuga turkestanica, it was likely cyanosis, C-Bum, Derek, myself, all the people, and so there was the Turk scam. I had a horrible reputation because I was, along with everyone else, doing the exact same thing. Third-party testing was backing us up, proving that it was what it was supposed to be. Turns out that it wasn't. It was cyanosis, which still works, just not as much as Ajuga. And so I didn't want to release a new supplement because I knew people would shit on me and hate on me and do all the things. But I used the product in secret. My friends did, and we're like, holy shit, this stuff works. And I'm like, all right, I'll sell it. Even though I know that for the rest of time, until 20 years from now when there's enough studies to prove that it works, people are going to hate on me, and it's just part of the job. It's part of being a famous person. And so who cares? I know that it works. Just like Hussein Farhat knows that he's natural. And so the 35% of people or so who believe he's lying, that myself and Jeff Nippert are covering for him, that he just took tests in Tren or MK or whatever for 16 months of his starting the career, and then he stopped taking it, and then he managed to just keep all of his games, even though Derek, who's on HRT, can't even maintain his gains. He lost his highs. Hussein, he just has crazy genetics where you use the steroids and you go off of them and you keep all the gains. There, I've solved it. He has crazy genetics for using steroids, putting on a lot of muscle, then not needing the steroids to keep the muscle. This is how it works. I've concluded that it. So now are we all happy? Hussein used steroids. He has crazy genetics where he doesn't lose the muscle after stopping steroids. Other people like Derek, he loses the muscle, even though he's on HRT. There it is. And so I'm selling the supplement because it works, and I know it works, and I'm going to use it whether I'm selling it or not. And so if you don't want to buy it, all of a sudden it's canceled, well, I got a lifetime supply. There you go. It doesn't hurt me in any way.
Could be a world in which turkesterone actually does work. But for the people whom it doesn't have great results, they're not going to go and put a testimonial of shitty results up online.
Mike is absolutely diabolical. He's saying people who use a supplement and it doesn't work are not going to go and post it online. Those are the ones that post it. People who use a supplement and it works, they're like, yeah, it works. When you get shit on or scammed, that's when people go to Reddit. That's when people go online and start talking about you. They don't go and say, oh, I went to this restaurant and it was what I expected. They go on the site and say, the food was cold, there was a worm in it, a bug, the waiter was horrible. That's when they comment. And so the people who are commenting, they're very likely every person that has a bad experience is going to write something. Way more likely that the haters are going to write negative comments than the people who like me. And so you can believe what Mike's saying or you can not.
And you look back at the literature for the supplement actually working, and it's basically just like a bunch of crickets. It could work because there's a chance turkesterone actually does work. It's just you can't call it an evidence-based supplement.
I don't understand. I can say it works. I put on 4 pounds of muscle and actually it's 9 now. You can't say it. You're being disingenuous. Am I supposed to lie? Hey, I took this and it didn't work. I gained 9 pounds because, I don't know, I train only twice a week now instead of 6 days a week. And so I think because I train less often and I'm 49 now, that I've put on more muscle. Why do I have to lie about my results? And so when he's saying you can't say that it works, you can't say that it works, I used it and it works. How am I not allowed to give my own proper testimonial? If I lie and I lost 9 pounds and I say I gained it, then I'm a liar. I'm not lying.
Yeah, it's actually claiming that it works is already in hot water. So you could claim like it might work.
Claiming it works, I'm in hot water. Hey, I used it and it works. My brother used it, it works. Brother's wife used it, it works. Girlfriend used it, it works. Tens of thousands of people use it, it works. How is this a lie? You can't say that it works. Somebody just can't say it because there's no double-blind, placebo-controlled human study that says it works. Hey, I used Tren and it worked. Oh, but there's no study that said that Tren works at 500 milligrams a week, and so you can't say it. It did, though.
Here I am selling my new supplement.
Try it.
Pax Air.
I want
Pax
it.
Oxygen.
Scott, you want to buy equity?
It may work.
Yeah.
You never know.
If Pax Air helped you build 4 pounds of muscle, then you can say, hey, Pax Air helped me build 4 pounds of muscle. But you can't sit there and make up a supplement and call it Pax Air and lie that it works. Do you see the difference? Me saying Turk worked and you saying some air that you breathed in works is not the same thing. Mine truly gained this muscle. Yours, you made it up as a joke.
Yeah, and the new research was the one study, the 2 studies that showed nothing much.
The one study that was retracted or mysteriously disappeared.
Or selective bias, research bias, not actually looking at all the studies, only wanting to present the picture that turkesterone is in fact a scam when it is not.